There's glue on my hair. But I don't care what no one says. A mortgage payment increasing by $1,500 is diabolical. Like, I don't understand how that shit is legal. Like, does this not fall along the lines of predatory lending? Like, if this wasn't on my closing, documentation of when I closed on my home, if that's not the mortgage payment y'all gave me, well, why the fuck do you think that it's okay to just send me an email saying, oh, by the way, due to your escrow analysis, your mortgage payment is increasing by $1,500. Excuse me, what? That is literally a mortgage payment and an apartment. A nice one at that. Like, that's 2 car payments and insurance.
You said what?
You go.
Please get the fuck out my face. Thank you.
Let's go.
Money is relative. What we thought we were never going to do a few years ago, that's what we're doing today. A couple years ago, a $2,000, maybe $3,000 mortgage was, today, that's the base. 3 is the base. 2, that doesn't even exist in a lot of areas. 3, 4, $5,000 a month, and that's after a 10 to 20% down payment. And we got to talk about this. Like, this is why you guys got to stop listening. I know they mean well, but you cannot listen to people who bought a house not even 30 years ago, but even 10 years ago. You're not paying a mortgage. I guarantee a lot of rent is $3,000 is normal. And so listen, I feel like housing is like water. You can't avoid it. You're not going to get around it. So the only decision you need to make is forget the rates, the high prices, trying to time when things are going to crash and yada, yada. Your decision that you need to make is, are you going to pay your monthly housing payment to a landlord, or are you going to pay that to the bank?
New York and LA are too expensive.
Yeah, she's not lying. You got to decide who you're going to pay it to, because this 3 to 5 is normal. It's conditioning. We do it already. You get a job that's $50,000 and you were making 40 before. You spend that extra 10,000. Very few people turn around and save that money. They've conditioned themselves to live on a higher level of expense, not cutting back because they made more, but spending more because they made more. So now you're conditioned, and they know that, so they don't mind taking your mortgage or your rent up by 20%, 15%, because, hey, you make money and you make extra money, you're used to spending it already, right? This is society we live in.
Texas, Atlanta, and Miami are too humid. DC and Chicago have winter. And I don't know about the middle of America. Where do you move at? Like, where are the girlies moving in the States? Because at this point, I'm about to go overseas.
Yeah, there's a lot of houses on the market. Why? Because owners are selling. Why? Because most of them are not getting paid rent. Why? So you mean to tell me because of automation, because they're losing their jobs. Yep. So now you're going to run out there because there's a lot of properties for sale and not say to yourself, damn, why they selling them? Most of them are not getting rent. Yeah. So you think that the average person going to go buy these houses? Now they're going to get some tenants to start paying them rent?
I think we're in that season right now. If you do not know how to actually buy real estate investment properties the right way, you probably don't need to buy it. And some of you guys are caught up in these gurus and you want to do the whole real estate investing thing. Great. Just be prepared, just like with the stock market, to take wins and to take losses and to keep on going. He's not lying. A lot of people right now, renters, investors specifically, are putting their houses on the market for sale because their tenants aren't paying, or their taxes are going so far up that their tenants can't afford to pay.
Looking over my backyard, which this is my own personal space, has nothing to do with you. But now you back here talking about some propane tank and a heat lantern.
I'm retired. That's what I do. In retirement, I make sure my community is safe.
Oh my God. You know what? Okay. What's the fine for this? What's the fine for this?
Oh, you're going to be emailed about it.
No, I'm asking you, what's the fine for this? I tell you what we don't do.
I don't do verbals.
You said, wait, hold on. You said that the propane tank was a violation. You didn't say the heat lamp was a violation, so I got something for you. How about this?
Okay, what you got?
Now, I'm going to move the propane tank inside.
Now you're using your brain, Mr. Larry.
So now
you're using your brain.
So now you keep your fine because I'm moving the propane tank.
Oh, you're being fined anyway. You violated. You're being fined.
You know what? Listen, you taking your job a little too seriously. And I'm going to bring this up to the HOA committee because you got a problem. Something's wrong with you.
I'm the president of the HOA. You can bring it up to the committee all you want.
Look at here, Obama. I'm gonna have you impeached. How about that from the committee? Because you got a problem. Look through people. Look like the people's time.
The problem is your propane tank. That's the problem. Your propane tank, Mr. Larry.
Well, my propane tank is no longer a problem moving inside.
Thank you.
Come on inside. Come on inside. Come on inside.
Thank you for using your brain.
Congratulations on paying off your house. Thank you. I finally own my home. I love that for you. Now I'll pay property taxes. Wait. For what? For owning the home. But I already paid for the home. Yes. That was for the structure. And the land? That's rented. For who? Us. For how long? Forever. And if I stop paying, we take the house. But I bought it. Correct. And now you maintain it for us. So this is renting. No. This is home ownership. So what did I actually buy? A lifetime subscription with surprise price increases. And what do I get with that? The privilege of not being evicted this year. Love it. 5 stars.
And everybody doesn't want to be a homeowner.
Yo, that's so crazy. You don't really own the property. Like, you own the property, but you still pay, even after you've paid off the house, you still pay taxes to the government for the property. So you don't really own it at all.
My mortgage payment went from $1,600 to $3,500. This is all I have been seeing going on my timeline on TikTok right now, on how everybody's mortgage rates are increasing. Honestly, I can tell you what, when I first bought my house and I had a realtor, my realtor did not tell me anything. I bought the house. I didn't know what I was doing. I was not a realtor then, of course. And I did not learn about my payment until the closing day. I did not know how much my mortgage payment was going to be until the closing day. And I signed on the dotted line. At that point, for me, I was ready to buy a house, so I just felt like it was what it was. Unfortunately, my mortgage payment is $1,600 and it's still $1,600. But I guess my question is, for everyone's mortgage that's going up, like, I know it's a terrible situation, but also when you are purchasing your homes, are you not understanding what questions to ask your lender? Because you can always ask your lender when you go under contract on a home to show you what your monthly payment is going to be. Of course, it's going to be an estimate, but also at the closing table, when the attorney is going over how much you're going to pay for your mortgage, and they give you a piece of paper that has all your mortgages for however many how many ever years that you have to pay your mortgage for. At that time, when you're signing your papers, don't just sign the papers, just ask questions that you may have about your mortgage, because once you sign and close on your home, that's your home.
The worst thing I hear is when people get ready to close on a house and I ask them how much their monthly payment is, and they have no idea what their monthly payment is. Matter of fact, they ask the loan officer, how much is my monthly payment? And that's not a flex. Actually, that's bad business. That's bad business. You probably don't need to be buying a house.
Everybody won't be a homeowner. Let's talk about it. They said 68% of adults go and buy a home because they were encouraged to, not because they understood why or why not to. Of that 68% of adults who go and rush and buy a home just because that's what society tells us to do, 32% regret buying that home within the first 5 years of living in that home.
Nice car, but they live in an apartment. I'm trying to figure out what's the joke. What's funny about that? A lot of y'all act as if somebody choosing an apartment over a house is not a lifestyle choice versus a finance choice. It has nothing to do with how much money somebody got. I don't even understand the correlation. Seeing how a lot of middle class people, if they bought their house when the rates was extremely low, they're paying an extremely lower mortgage payment than people are paying in rent. So ain't no way you think that having a house means that somebody's finances is better, because you can't even use that to gauge who got what money. And I don't even know where you getting at with it. And my thing is, you DoorDash for a living. Us people who live in an apartment, we putting food in your mouth while you sitting here trying to be Mr. Funny Guy. Like, I sold my house. There was a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom house to move into an apartment. And I love it because it was a lifestyle change. That house was too big for me. It's just me and a dog. I didn't need all that house, so I sold it. I chose to move into a more affluent area where the apartment complex I chose has a gated garage. Is your car sitting in a gated garage? No, I don't think it is. Not to mention, it's like living on a resort 24/7. Amenities on amenities on amenities. I would never choose to go back to a house right now because the lifestyle choice makes more sense to be in an apartment. But I just be so confused when y'all be like throwing apartments up in people's face as a jab. Do you think if people can pay $3,000 plus for an apartment that they can't get a house? Even if, let's say, their credit is bad, you don't think that they could rent a house? Yeah, they could. If they truly wanted a house and desired a house that bad, they could easily choose that over an apartment. So it's a lifestyle choice, not a finance choice. That's the reason why I like talking about money or anything dealing with finances with y'all, because I know a lot about a lot, but I don't even feel like doing it back and forth with y'all because a lot of y'all are so ignorant in the conversation and it's not even worth talking to you about it. And you just end up giving me a headache because you're just too stupid.
Yo, shorty, right. You know, you can't be looking at people that got a bunch of stuff and you try to compare yourself to them, especially in real estate. You'll find out it's not true. Black people got to stop looking at white people and saying that they're in better positions because they may have a bigger house. You don't know what they compromised or did to even get there. And you don't know what they pay every month for that house. And you got to stop. You can't look at other black people and compare yourself. Don't look at Indians, Asians, white folks. Y'all need to stop looking at black people talking about they got rhythm. Y'all ain't got no rhythm. Stick with the rhythm you got. Okay. Nah, man. And too much of that. And when you get that, people make bad decisions. I tell people you can't chase the next thing. You got to chase the lifestyle that you want.
Is being house poor worth it? Is owning a house but not being able to do anything, not being able to afford to go out and experience more life and like make memories worth it? I see so many people on this app that are like, oh, well, I enjoy my mortgage and stuff like that. But do you? Like, you get one life. That's it. We all know that, okay? And to be stuck at home for maybe even, just say, the next 10 years, doing really nothing, watching Netflix and rotting away, is it really worth it? Because you felt the need, because society tells you that, like, if you don't own a house at some point, you're failing in life. You felt the need to follow those footsteps, and now you're stuck at home. I just feel like that's not worth it anymore. Yes, back in the day, you could own a house, you could go on trips, you could have this whole family thing, all this. But y'all that are trying to flex on others saying, oh, well, I own a house. You don't. Yeah, but at least they have the money to rent and leave the house and go and do things. I'm not saying you have to go party every weekend or anything like that, but at least they can go out and see their family, fly somewhere, take vacations. Like, give me your opinions in the comments, please.
It's been a
lifestyle choice. Same thing, lifestyle choice. Some people don't mind paying more money and probably not having a ton of extra money to spend, but they're in the place they want to be. Their kids are going to the school they want to go to, and they're comfortable paying their bills. They may not be able to travel and go to all these different places, but they enjoy where they are and they fixed it up or made it like their life, and they enjoy that.
About 5 months since I got my real estate license, and I haven't sold. I have not sold anything, but I'm not gonna say that's okay because the bills need to be paid. But I will say getting into this industry is way harder than I thought. So if you've been doing this for a long time, comment some advice or anything that helped you get your first sale, because I need to get mine.
If you're a couple, yeah. Okay, your first real estate sale is always going to come from the people more than likely around you. Then you're going to take that money and you're going to flip that into your business.
Buy a house, don't make the same mistake that most couples make when they buy a house, and that mistake is they put both people on the mortgage. You don't want to do that. If possible, just have one person on the mortgage. But what you can do to make sure both people have rights and ownership to the house is have both people on the deed or have both people on the title. There's really no benefit for putting both people on the mortgage unless you actually have to. But if you don't, why would you do that? Because when you have a mortgage under a name, that affects what's called your DTI, also known as your debt to income ratio. So that debt is going to pop up under their name. So that can possibly prevent them from getting other programs in the future, even getting qualified to purchase another home. The smarter play, like I said, is just have one person on it, and then maybe a year later, maybe 2 years later, whenever it is, double back and then put the second house in that other person's name, because they don't have a mortgage attached to their name, so they don't have that debt attached to their name, so you guys can get a better house.
And that's the advantages of actually being married and having a spouse. You able to split that up. I'm not on none of my stuff. I'm cool with that. Some dudes would freak out. I don't want to be on any of that because I like doing real estate projects on the side and letting that be my stuff that I'm responsible for.
I'm looking at houses. I'm looking at these neighborhoods and all this stuff. And I'm in the market for a house possibly. And, you know, I'm an attorney. I've got some money. I'm not rich. I'm not rich or anything, but I'm very averse to debt because I went into debt for law school. I paid it all back, $170K. I'm way past that now. But I really, you know, these people don't own anything. They're all willing to go into debt. You listen to Dave Ramsey, you look at the housing market. These people will go into severe debt over these houses they're charging like $500,000 or more for these basic ass houses that you can't even take a piss outside because it's so close together. And I have to compete with these people that are willing to riddle their life with debt for 30 years. I'm not doing that.
You know what I realized? A lot of people drive. Again, lifestyle choice. Some people don't mind that. You know, I agree with him though. Like, why do y'all buy $500,000 houses and they're literally, it's probably about what, 5 yards away from your neighbor. And I know, I get it. Some metropolitans, some places, that's your only choice. But if I'm going to give you $500,000, I cannot be able to spit on your deck from my deck. I don't get that. I don't feel it. I don't think. And maybe because I value that $500,000 is going to be spent, and if I'm spending $500,000, and after you get your interest rate and you pay your for that mortgage, it's not going to be $500,000. More like 800,000, 850,000.
Through these really nice neighborhoods or see these houses on Zillow and they're scrolling, and you know, outside of New York City and California and stuff like that, if you live in a general area, your $1 million neighborhood is gorgeous. Still to this day, it's a gorgeous neighborhood, and you drive through these neighborhoods or you see this stuff on Zillow and Redfin and Realtor.com and stuff like that, and the first question these people are asking themselves is, what do these people do for a living? How can they afford to live in a $1.1 million house? A $1 million house, a $938,000 house. How are they affording to live in this neighborhood? And the one thing that I need people to remember is a lot of these people who live in these neighborhoods bought in these $1 million neighborhoods 8 to 10 years plus ago, when those houses were between $450,000 and $600,000.
Mm-hmm.
Likely, if somebody lives in a current $1 million neighborhood, they have a $1 million house, a $1.1 million house, 10 to 12 years ago, when they likely bought, because a lot of people buy these houses and they stay in them 15, 20, 30 years. They likely bought, if they purchased it more than 10 years ago, between $450,000 and $600,000. And they just stayed there. I currently live in a neighborhood that is between, I would say, $300,000 to $450,000. No, I don't live in a $1 million neighborhood, but it's the same parameters, just at a lower scale, right? I purchased my house 7 years ago for $180,000. If I sold my house today, I could easily get between $385,000 and $400,000 for this house. I have a lot of neighbors who live in this neighborhood who, if they were in the market to buy their house today at today's price, that they wouldn't qualify for it. They couldn't buy their own house that they currently live in. Imagine that. Ain't that crazy? So likely, people who live in $1.1 million houses today in we're not talking about $1 million homes from 15, 20 years ago. We're talking about today's $1 million houses. Today's $1 million houses were $450,000 to $600,000 8 to 10 years ago. I would bet that 50% of those neighborhoods could not repurchase their house today. It is what it is. So sometimes it's not, what do they do for a living? It's just, when did they get in? The question we should start asking is, when did they buy this house? How long have they lived here? Boy, they got in at a good time.
So Atlanta, Georgia has just turned.
And my dude is right. That's the question. Because you look at people, that's why I say you can't compare yourself to people, man. Everybody gets in different spots. I know people who bought homes like when the market before 2020, and they were buying homes from what's the name of the spot? Open Door. I think it's Open Door, right? And just another one called OfferPad, I think it is. But they were buying their houses when they hit the market, and some of those houses sat on the market for years, like not years, months, longer than what they should have at least. And so they were able to get better deals because they went for the house that a lot of people wasn't going for. Now, granted, I know one of them ended up having like squirrels in his roof after he bought the house. But hey, he got it at a deal, right? I got a cousin. She owned a brownstone in New York, and she bought this brownstone, I think when it was 500 or 600,000. She gets ready to move, and she's like, Leon, I need to sell this brownstone. Well, I'm in Georgia. I can't do nothing for you. I can send you to somebody that can help you. Yeah, how much do you think it should go for? $1 million. Come on, bro. $1 million? She got in when it was low and sold and was there. That's why you can't compare yourself to people. The market goes like this, and eventually the market is going to dip again. Then it's going to peak again. If the world doesn't blow up, it'll be back up here again. So you buy down here, and then you're able to realize the benefits up there. Man, I don't know, bro. Yo, wow. Stop comparing yourself to people. That's what I'm saying.
Its real estate market backwards. That's right. According to the Wall Street Journal, most major cities have the most expensive real estate closer to the city, and then like concentric circles, the real estate gets less and less expensive. But in Atlanta, the suburbs like Roswell, Alpharetta, and Marietta have become so sought after and valuable that they're actually appreciating more than the properties closer to the city. How is your city reacting?
Okay, so I'm not from Atlanta, so I don't really know how crazy this is, but it feels crazy.
Real talk, that's true. And if you want to relocate to Atlanta, there's a link below. Also, click the link. You can download a relocation package. Or if you're looking to get some deals in Atlanta, we do have off-market properties that we advertise. You can get on that off-market property list. It is free. And that's real. because I do see that in Atlanta. There was a point in time when in the city you would buy a house and it'll be $450, like the average cost to actually purchase a home, average cost. And outside in the suburbs, it was way less. You go to Riverdale, you go to Jonesboro, some of these other places, you're paying way less. Now it's crazy. Like everybody wants to be out the city. Not everybody, but I think it came from COVID, honestly. I think during COVID, people had to park their money. They wanted to buy. They couldn't find anything in the city. They started buying outside of the city, and the prices started to go up. That's my opinion. That's what I think. And then now people in the city are trying to sell in the city, and you think the prices will actually go back up because people are still buying. But the reality of it is I think more people want to live outside of 285 than inside of 285. And the ones that do want to live inside of 285, they're just like, because it's a buyer's market, I think they're doing heavy negotiation. Unless you're in some places like Edgewood or some of these other places that people are trying to get into, you know?
Right, so I'm driving through Edgewood. I hear a lot about Edgewood. Mixed bag, you know what I'm saying? I like the area nonetheless. I'm seeing townhouses, freedom townhouses starting from 900,000. Something about that don't seem right? Like, they're modern. I'm sure they're nice on the inside, but 900K for a sliver of real estate just seems crazy to me. And in Edgewood, convenient area, you know, once again, I like it over here. But Atlanta natives, can you please tell me if I'm tripping or not? Because that just don't seem right.
Nah, you ain't tripping. And it is like that. I mean, you got $900,000 townhomes that you're like, damn, this is a townhome, 900K. But it's going down because the more those pieces don't sell and inventory piles up, people have to bring down prices. And hey, that's when you get your deal. It's a buyer's market. I keep telling people that. Like, subscribe, follow for more content. I see you guys on the next video. Peace.